hand sanitizer. If you're like me, you spend a lot of your time trying to find sanitation, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, disinfectant sprays. We have a ton of it now, but I'm sick of looking for it. We spend way too much time on it. So since you're home, we're going to tell you a story. Not a great story, but hey, this is an SG. Back when I was a freshman in high school, one of the most influential guitar players played an SG. And I remember him back then. This is early 70s, long hair, long Fu Manchu mustache, sitting out in the parking lot playing his SG. And the SG, back right after the Les Paul, they made the SG and they called it a Les Paul. And this is a reissue of a SG Les Paul. And it's said with the double cutaways and stuff that Les Paul didn't want the guitar, his name on it. He's like, take that off. Now, there's another story I've heard recently that Les Paul was actually going through a divorce with Mary Ford, and he just didn't want to deal with all the residuals. Les Paul got $25 a copy for putting his name on the guitars, and at that time he took his name off. Nonetheless, these early Les Pauls, they're beveled back like this. They're beveled straight across here. The beveling is really deep. Then later in the 60s, the beveling got a little different, but the SG has always been a romantically kind of a cool guitar. Joey Mullen from Badfinger played an SG. The nice thing about SGs is that they're all neck. You can reach up to the upper registers. The other nice thing about SGs is with the mahogany body, they tend to sound like Fenders. They're a little brighter. They've got a little more clarity of tone than, say, a Les Paul. And the other thing about SGs is that we have them all on sale. Every used SG we have in stock, if you mention this video before May 1st, we'll knock 10% off a used SG. I've got a couple of them. We've got one here that actually has a tremolo on it, and you got to be careful when you're buying one of these tremolos to make sure there's neck angle. We did check this one out. They all have big necks, typical of the 1960, 1959 era, and they're all great guitars with great necks, big necks, and that nice crisp Fender sound. One last story I'll tell you. I snuck into that guy's house, the guitar player I told you about, pulled the case from underneath the bed. I wanted to see that SG so bad. I opened it up, and it was full of bags of pot. I was 14 years old. I had never seen pot before. I was horrified. I got over it quick enough. But the real thing was, there was no SG in the case. How disappointing is that? Only pot. There you go. It's a story.